What's going on, guys? Get it a few more minutes and start it up. Let's let some more people join. What trades did y'all take today? Please, how do I start forest trading? You took gold. Nas buys got out too early. Gold sells, but went to shit. Yeah, I didn't take any trades today for New York. Gold sales was good. Yeah, yeah. It must be right here. Like it is break a structure right here because it definitely went back in the range. I feel like yeah, Marcus is waiting for something. Yeah, that Trump and Putin is going to be on Friday. Yeah, I'm gonna go over that. All right, just get it started now. And we got RBA wages at 9:30 for you guys that trade it. Hold on. What's going on, guys? So this is just going to be a market update, just to brief you guys about what happened throughout the session, just to keep you guys fresh with the markets, right? Because a lot does go on, and it seems like it's just a lot of noise. But what I do is I like to break it down just to make it very simple, right? So it's like 100 headlines that come out through the day, and it's hard to pick out what is the market movers. So that's more of the reason for the market updates, is just so that you could start dissecting and picking out which headlines are important and why, right? Because these are the things that you have to learn to get better at just to start looking for some tradable opportunities when it comes to news. So just starting off with equities, we could see that we did end it in the green today. Not really what I personally wanted to see. I wanted to see some downside in equities today, but inflation was overall mixed. But one of the reasons I feel like equities did push higher was the headlines coming in from Trump and Bassett throughout New York session talking about the data, right? So Trump was also talking about replacing, spell replace wrong, but he was talking about replacing Powell. And normally when he does that, it does cause a dovish reaction, because more likely if he replaces Powell, he's not gonna. They're not gonna replace the chair with a hawkish speaker, right? So it's fucked up that they're doing this, because the Federal Reserve is supposed to be separate from government entities, and the fact that they're allowing Donald Trump and the White House administration to have so much authority over them, it doesn't show the separation. It's not a good look, right? Because this is the reason why dollar is like dropping so much, even without a rate cut. You know, like we don't even have a rate cut yet, and dollar is what, like, where is it at? Like 90, at 98. So imagine like when they actually do rate cuts, where dollar is going to be at 70. So it gives them institutions a direction. Because if you know that they're going to get rid of, well, Jerome Powell's term is up next year. So when you know that his term is up, it just gives us a clear bias on which direction to trade. One of the reasons why equities has been extremely bullish and dollar has been bearish. There's no real reason to buy the dollar if you know that monetary policy is eventually going to start leaning towards rate cuts. So it's just not smart in their end, you know, because the rate decisions is extremely important, because it's turning political. And I think that's the problem. That's why Jerome Powell is they're not likely to cut rates. They're going to try their best not to. And what they did before I hit the CPI data, I don't know if I put it here, but what they was doing is now Trump and their administration is blaming the people that's putting out the data saying that the data is now being manipulated. So that's even worse. That's going to make things a lot worse. Like, so what, we can't trust data now. So they're just being very, very sloppy. They're being very sloppy. But when it came to CPI, it didn't really give us an edge. But looking at the print, they was just saying that, I mean, we all live in America. Like, most of y'all live in America. And y'all understand when y'all paying for gas, when you're out paying for goods in grocery stores, do you feel like inflation is lowering, or you feel like it's still worse? Or do you feel like it's higher? Right? Because at the end of the day, somebody's lying here. I go to the grocery store, I buy 4 items, it's damn near $170, right? So I feel like inflation is high, my opinion. I don't see it in the grocery stores. Maybe gas a little bit, but clothing, maybe. I can't remember the last time I bought. I don't buy clothes like that. I can't tell. But inflation is high, right? We haven't seen a drastic difference. Somebody's lying. But they are coming out saying that the data is now being manipulated. So when you have a president saying that and the U.S. Treasury of the state saying that, that's bad for business, right? But again, for us as traders, it gives us a bias. And that's the reason why we saw dollar push lower, equities push higher, even though that the print didn't give us a bias. It's not giving us an idea which direction the Feds should actually go late September. Okay. But we still got PPI this week too, which is going to be important. So we did have some Fed speakers that came out. Birkin, Schmidt, suck at his name, but just reading the comments, like it's 100. It's like they say a lot of statements, but you want to figure out, is this central bank speaker hawkish or dovish? That's the goal, right? So looking at Birkin, inflation will be more moderate than people expect, right? Growth remains solid, inflation remains too high, and restrictive policy is appropriate for the time being. So restrictive policy meaning is that rates just stay where it is for the time being. To me, very hawkish, right? They're not likely to cut rates, but the inflation part, I personally think this higher inflation is temporary too. So I think we're going to see lower inflation in the future. So something we could focus on. We had a lot of U.S. headlines that came in today, and these are the most important ones that actually came out, right? So I will immediate join court rules. Y'all remember when the courts actually got involved with tariffs? That was an opportunity we was looking to take advantage of. So we haven't heard anything from the courts yet, but if that actually comes out again, that's going to probably lead to some volatile movements, right? Last time, that actually caused equities to push higher when they try to do a pause. So hopefully they just mind their business. But other than that, you can just see right here, the Fed should think about a 50 basis point cut in September. Like, this is what I mean. This is the Treasury of the state, so this is a crazy game that they're playing with, because I didn't want to see a hawkish reaction, but this is crazy that they did this after CPI. It's not a coincidence at all. But yeah, these are the most important headlines. I took the sells on NASDAQ over London session from this headline right here, with China demand China pretty much is halting Nvidia chips, right? So that's bad for NASDAQ in general. But today's data, personally, I don't think it matters. I think it's just going to be, it's up to Russia, my opinion. I don't think this war is going to end anytime soon. So I'm not, the only way I could see this war between Russia and Ukraine to give us opportunities is if only we see escalations, and then that would be ideas for buying gold again. But if they cause a ceasefire, I don't think that it's going to really do as much as what we expect. All right. And then just to go to economic data that is important for tomorrow, we got at 9:30. So in about an hour, we're going to have AUD wages. So after the rate decision, which is important for you guys, for whoever trades AUD, right? So we could see, like, I didn't, this was labor. Yeah, so we can see that the RBA did cut rates by 25 basis points, which was ideally as expected, but the forward guidance was actually dovish, which led to a weaker AUD currency. And look, the labor print, This was UK. So what I want to pay attention to now with this wage print for Australia, I want to see a lower print just to go along with the forward guidance. If we could get a weaker print, this is what's going to set out for AUD sales. Ideally, you could look at AUD USD sales. I still think is a good idea, and AUD JPY sales would probably be a good idea as well. So just looking at those two pairs, or GBP AUD buys, I still think those three pairs are the good ones just to look for weakness. If we get a higher print in wages, I don't think it's worth chasing that. And then London session at 2, we're going to have Euro CPI, which is also important. But for New York session, there's no important economic data. So tomorrow for New York, it's just going to be a focus on news headlines. All right. So just focus on technicals pretty much. And I just recommend, don't overtrade, like wait for a reason. So sometimes like after 9:30 p.m. Eastern, you could see a little more volume come into markets, but news headlines is what's going to probably be the main factor. So it's just a quick update to you guys. Let me just read you guys questions. Trade ideas is for the private group. So I'm gonna read you guys questions and then I'm gonna just end it so I could do trade ideas with my private group. How to start Forex for beginners. You could just go on YouTube and just put Forex trading for beginners and just pretty much just like what everybody here, just watch every single video you possibly can just on the beginning. I think, what was a good website? It's so long ago. Like, what's that website, guys, that it just gives for I know it's for beginners, but a lot of Baby Pips. Yeah, like where all the influencers just copy Baby Pips and put it in the course. Yeah, Baby Pips. You could start off with Baby Pips. What can we expect from Trump and Putin meeting? I don't know. To tell you the truth, I really don't know. Like I don't think Putin wants to end the war. I think he wants to take over too much of their territory. I don't think Zelensky is going to do it. Zelensky just today was just saying that after the meeting on Friday, he thinks that Ukraine is going to escalate. I don't think that they're going to end that war, to tell you the truth, but anything could happen. Trump is like a part of Trump's plan, like who he is as a person. Even if it goes bad, he's going to say that the meeting is going good, so I wouldn't trust what he says. Data is mixed, but in line with cautious. Yeah, like it was a mixed print. So I would just look at it from that way. Text me. Yeah. All right, I got you guys. All right, guys, have a good one.